Deepti, her bridesmaids, myself, my groomsmen went and partied on my friend's yacht till 5 a.m., just floating around on Lake Michigan. She's a beautiful young lady, but that sexual spark wasn't there. Still, the norm is an arranged marriage in India.
Is there like a statute of limitations on their NDA?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to the Alex Witherow Show. Today I have a very interesting guest. I'm very excited about this conversation. He is a veterinarian, an entrepreneur, and infamous guest on Love Is Blind. Chatterjee, great to have you here.
Thank you, Alex. Happy to be here.
Good. So, very excited to have this conversation. I see you as a very interesting guy. You have an interesting history. As soon as your face shows up on a thumbnail on the internet, I feel like you're going to cause a lot of people to feel a certain way.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah.
You've had, I would say, a bit of a hero's journey, so to speak. You've obviously been a successful veterinarian. You have a deep love for animals, from what I can tell.
Yep.
And but you had a little pit stop along the way on a TV show, and you were on Love Is Blind season 2. Mm-hmm. And it went kind of, probably I would assume, unexpectedly.
You would be correct in saying that, yeah.
And I think it's interesting because I think when people get into these shows, they don't really know what they're signing up for. And as someone who's been in the film industry with producers and editors, I deal with editors all the time, every day. I know reality TV editors are diabolical, and they are experts at cutting things in a way that maximize views, right? I mean, I know you've covered a lot of this on different shows and whatnot, but I guess, like, just overall, I mean, what was what did you think about the experience on Love Is Blind? And yeah, I mean, like, we obviously know what the fallout was later on, and I kind of want to hear your thoughts on it first, and then I'll give you, as a viewer, I'll give you my thoughts on it after that.
Well, you're spot on by calling the production diabolical. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought to myself, how could they not like me? How could they possibly, make me the bad guy? Was
Right.
kind of my attitude
Right.
going into it. I think it's important to mention, I never went seeking out reality TV. I know a lot of people, they would kill to be on reality TV.
Right.
They apply, they seek it out, they follow all of it. I was never like that. Never even really watched reality TV. It wasn't until they kind of pushed me through the Love Is Blind casting process.
Yeah, so, like, did they reach out to you and say, hey, do you want to do this?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
They reached out as a text message, actually.
Okay.
Which is not super common because usually they're going to come on Instagram or
Right.
something like that. And I guess a friend had suggested me. They didn't divulge who that friend was to this day.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure who it was.
Yeah.
But they already seem to know a little something about me. I'm a veterinarian, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I was actually going through a breakup at the time. It was just the beginning of COVID. Like, we didn't know what COVID was going to be, but we knew
Right.
something was coming.
This is early 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when the conversation kind of started.
Okay.
It was a vulnerable moment, okay? And they kind of praised me so much. They made me feel so good on these interviews.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you're so good looking and you love animals, you have a great job and this and that." And I'm like,
You thought this was going a different way.
I'm like, guys, this is the best anyone has made me feel in weeks. Like I said, I had this breakup and
Well, they're experts at this, by the way.
yeah, they are. And from what I understood and just talking to other people, they're going to interview like hundreds of people, right?
Yeah.
But they wanted to just push me right through. They're like, hey, I don't want to say
There's something about this guy we really like.
but
Yeah.
but you're probably going to get picked, just
Yeah.
so you know. I don't know if they're trying to hit a diversity quota or what. But maybe could be. But
I think you have a dynamic personality too.
Well, maybe that's all a part of it.
Yeah.
I didn't even see the season 1 of Love Is Blind until they'd kind of already started to put me on the short list for season 2. So, I'm not that familiar with reality TV. I think if you watch enough, you can kind of see the manipulation and
Yeah, and there's Love Is Blind has a very unique and specific angle, which it's interesting, but it obviously focuses on you getting to know somebody without seeing them, which is a very unique angle to the show.
Well, we're just jogging up these thoughts now about the casting process, and people always ask me, you knew what the show was, why would you go on a show like that?
Right.
But like that really wasn't a thing, because I told the casting producers, directors, the same thing. I've typically dated blonde girls for whatever reason, that opposites attract. That's just kind of been my thing, and they knew my whole story.
No, knowledge is power with those guys.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, I certainly had no idea what I was getting myself into going into that.
Right. And so you're on the show. How long was filming?
So the pods part is about 2 weeks in LA.
Okay.
And then if you get engaged and they like you and they want to continue with you, then you go on your, kind of honeymoon type of thing, like your getaway.
Right. And so I remember I watched your season. I'm putting my producer hat on. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm watching Shake on these pods section.
Yeah.
And you're saying things like, "Can I carry you on my shoulders?" Which to me as a producer, I'm like, "Oh, this is gold.
Yeah,
we got to keep this guy. This is fantastic."
Yeah.
And as a guy, I know how this lands with women. As a guy, I got a chuckle out of that, right?
Yeah.
And what's fascinating about the show to me is, I think it plays on this psychological desire that maybe women have, where they, really hope that how they look, they're loved for their inside, not how their appearance. Right?
I think men feel that way too.
Yes.
Despite what they can offer as far as like security.
Yeah,
and like that.
True. No, great point. You know, and so it's a show that forces you to really get to know the inside of someone before even seeing who they are and what they look like, right? Mm-hmm. So, and obviously you clicked with Deep T, and obviously, now did you know she was Indian?
Yeah, yeah, and that's actually one of the reasons we bonded so much, is because
similar backgrounds.
We had so much in common. I mean,
right.
There's one thing both being Indian. There's tons of Indian people in America, but we were both born in India, moved to America at a young age, and just kind of had to navigate that experience, which, I have a lot of Indian friends, and a lot of them didn't necessarily have to do that. They were born here into like a community that their parents had already built type of thing, versus kind of coming here and like you're that first kind of person in your family to kind of push out.
And frankly, like, I think I don't think it's just an Indian thing. I think it's like, I think a lot of people feel, especially nowadays, that they're not necessarily attracted to their own type, right? I've been on this journey for many years, and I rarely date white girls anymore, frankly. Like
opposites attract.
Yeah, and it's obviously being in Miami, being the tall gringo, plays itself well to a certain audience.
Yeah, that can't hurt, right?
Wink, wink. But yeah, I mean, I think this is especially, I mean, obviously, like 30 years ago, interracial dating was kind of never really happened.
Yeah.
Now it's like almost normal. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the opposites attract. I guess it's kind of like a cliche thing thrown around, but being a man of science, it's interesting to me that there's a very scientific basis for that. So, in the animal world, and just remember, humans are animals, we're mammals, we share a lot of similarities with, monkeys, but also leopards and zebras and, to some degree, the dogs and cats we have in our homes. You know what I mean?
Right. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals.
That's right. Exactly. So it's interesting because I'm sure you're familiar with pheromones. Right? So pheromones have been proven to actually be linked to genetic weaknesses. And so I'll put it to you this way. You want to mate with somebody
who maximizes your weak, or fixes
exactly,
your
fills in the gaps, because the idea is that your progeny, your children, are going to have a higher rate of survival.
Interesting.
If one group has sickle cell anemia and the other one is prone to diabetes, and millions of other factors. I'm simplifying it a lot, but you are kind of driven biologically to reproduce with one another. And perfect example of this is dogs, mutts. They live way longer than the purebred counterparts. Golden retrievers, they get cancer.
Totally. I've dealt with this in my own life. I mean, our family has had 5 pureblood schnauzers.
Oh, schnauzer family.
Yeah.
Okay, I love schnauzers.
And dude, we've had a lot of health issues with the purebloods.
Yeah.
And then because of that, we have our latest dog in our family is half schnauzer, half poodle. And he's been way more healthy.
Sounds like a cute combo. I'd love to see a picture.
He's adorable.
Yeah. Schnauzer poodle.
He looks like a teddy bear, but he acts like a tough bro, which is a hilarious combination.
That's funny. Love that.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So and when you, I guess in terms of pheromones and attraction, how did you feel like this played out while you were on the show?
Played out poorly, Alex. Yeah. Very poorly. There's a certain je ne sais quoi of just being in the same room as the other person.
Right.
And it's not even always a visual thing necessarily.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you can find somebody beautiful, but also not feel that kind of pull towards them.
And I think this is inherently what's challenging and flawed about online dating.
Yep.
You see their pictures, but you're like, okay, she's hot. But then you show up and there's just something, the energy is just weird, and you're like, oh, this isn't how they portrayed themselves online.
Well, with the online dating, I guess the issue that, back when I partook in that, pre-Love Is Blind.
You're a monogamous man now.
Yeah, I am. But that was definitely a factor. But the other thing was what I like to call the emotional catfish. Okay?
Okay. So tell me what that is.
You've heard of people being a catfish in the traditional sense with their appearance.
Right.
But I think it's becoming increasingly popular for people to hide who they are while in these online interactions. You can come across a certain way, you meet in person, and it becomes evident fairly quickly.
The energy is very different.
Yeah, exactly. So
no, this is why I think it's important to have a FaceTime before you meet up.
Right.
And a lot of people are against that. I don't know why. They just feel like it's intrusive, but totally get what you're saying. So do you feel like when you were, so it seemed like when you were talking to Deepti, you guys had a good connection when you were just talking in the pods.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'll put it to you this way. There's nobody else on that show that I would have rather taken the next step with. And it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And we tried.
So you pick each other, the doors open up, you see her. It seemed like it seemed like the vibes were good. But
well, they were. And the vibes were fantastic.
Yeah.
That was a special moment. And even though Deepti and I were not on the best
I would
terms,
imagine that's really intense.
It was.
Because not only are you proposing to somebody,
seeing them for the
but
first
it's
time
on camera. Any camera in your face amplifies anything.
And it wasn't just 1 or 2 cameras. We were used to 1 or 2
this
cameras
is
by then.
Netflix.
Oh my God, I've never been in a room with so many cameras, so many people.
15 shots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But Deepti and I aren't on the best terms, but you could ask her and she would tell you the same thing. That was a really special moment.
Okay.
And we, that's we've just kind of we had that, right?
Yeah.
It was a special moment. We were so excited to see each other.
Yeah.
She looked great. Everything, was great. The 20 plus cameras certainly didn't bring the vibe down at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just it was like fireworks. It was. But that is a almost manufactured environment.
Right, right.
I feel like you could put a lot of people in that environment and kind of get some adrenaline pumping.
Yeah.
And maybe some other hormones.
I'm sure it's I know producers do things to get people amped up. I've seen a lot of Bravo. I've seen a lot of the Bachelor franchise. I hate to admit that, but it's just, it is what it is. Yeah. I do find it fascinating because I can always see what the producers are doing. And we've had reality people on this show before. There's always alcohol out. There's always the producers are always suggesting something to you. They're in your ear, saying, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you say this? Why don't you, this? So there's always, because they're crafting something that's going to be explosive.
Right.
As you later found out.
Yeah. And you know what? That I completely agree with that. And I saw that happening.
Yeah.
Around me to
you
others.
saw it coming.
That sort of stuff I saw coming, but there was the stuff I didn't see coming is the stuff that hit me the hardest.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I had a great time on the show from the beginning to the end. I was joking around. I was having a fun time. Sadly, I thought I made friends on the show. I didn't. Maybe I have one friend still from that season.
Yeah, and it was interesting to me because you were telling some stuff to the guys in confidence. Granted,
we're cut off from the rest of the world.
There's 20 cameras.
You don't have a phone. You don't have. You can't call your mom. You can't call a therapist. You can't. You don't want to talk to the producers. That's the
Definitely
last person you want to talk to.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, we're sharing this experience together.
Right.
And we're gonna share kind of, hey, what's going on?
And it was interesting because there was so much outrage by what you were sharing with the guys. And it's fascinating to me because I'm like, my God, like we've all been in a locker room with guys. I mean, some of the stuff they say,
bro,
it's like
just open up your own text messages.
Exactly, it make women's toes curl.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I understood when you said that stuff. I was like, okay, doesn't sound good on the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
However, like you should see what's in the text messages.
I think it's very, very important to mention that a lot of those scenarios. So it's like, all right, the producers will put the guys in one place.
Right.
And they're like, talk about your relationship. It's like, okay. You try to skirt around it. You try and say it the nicest way you can. They're not going to let you end that scene until they get what they want.
Exactly.
And they're not telling you what to say. So people ask, is it scripted? They're not going to say, hey, Shake, like, say this.
Yeah.
No, they're going to just keep a camera on you.
Yeah, you're locked up until you give them the goods.
Exactly. So in that scenario, it was hard. Like you can't just clam up.
Yeah, I get
what I mean.
Let me ask you this: so you have this wedding, or this grand entrance with Deepti, right?
Yep.
Then they send you to Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it when you get to Mexico? Like, at what point are you just thinking to yourself, okay, I'm not that into this girl.
Yeah.
And like she's telling the girls like he doesn't want to have sex with me,
and that sucks. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like I don't wish that upon anybody.
As every guy has been there.
Yeah.
Every guy has been there.
Yeah.
I've been in relationships like that. It's a awful, awful feeling.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish it on any girl because every girl deserves to be desired.
Yeah.
And when you feel like that, you got to go as a guy because every girl deserves to be desired.
Absolutely.
So like when I saw that, I was like, oh boy, here we go. Like this is I was like, Shake's gonna get crushed.
There's no easy way out of this.
Especially on a show.
Yeah, exactly.
So was it like by the time a couple days in Mexico, you're like, I'm just not feeling this?
Frankly, it was sooner than that.
Yeah.
It was after night one.
Okay.
And the thing is, it's not like.
So do they like actually leave you alone in like
a
hotel?
They do. You have like a suite.
Yeah.
You
so
have
they like
swim out pool.
Yeah.
The roses and the
like, let's
bathtub,
see what happens here.
Everything, and they
you two hang out at a hotel. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and the thing is, it's like it's not like remember we went to like the visual thing. It's not always about that.
Right.
You know, there's nothing wrong with Deepti. I mean, she's
very
a beautiful young lady, right? But that sexual spark wasn't there.
Right.
And I felt, whether this is a pheromone thing or not, I felt like her mannerisms and that sort of thing, I felt very familial with her.
Right.
Because
it felt like a sister vibe.
Yeah. Growing up, moving to America at a young age, your family is Indian and like some close friends, and the rest of everybody is not.
Plus, maybe your parents or grandparents were arranged marriages, right?
Well, that's an interesting story
because that's very common in Indian culture.
It's especially when my parents were dating age. It was very much the norm.
Right.
Like 95% of marriages were arranged. They were not. They had what's called a love marriage. Okay. So very rare then. Much more accepted now. But still, the norm is an arranged marriage in India.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
But anyway, long story short, their views on dating are a little bit more or less
traditional.
They're less traditional. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they already kind of broke the mold a little bit and did their own thing. But no, it felt like, the way I put it on the show, which got blasted and misinterpreted and like just totally twisted into something so awful, was first of all, I don't have a sister. Okay,
yeah.
I'm an only child. Right?
Me too.
Oh, really? Look at that. So she didn't remind me of a sister. I don't have a sister. Who she reminded me of is my aunt. Mm-hmm. My aunt's a lovely lady. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not like, this is not like a derogatory thing.
Right.
I would never say anything bad about my aunt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is your aunt, not your girlfriend, not your fiance. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know how that lands with women. They want you to see them as like the pole stripper.
I know, but you can't always do that.
I know.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, sometimes you can and sometimes you can't.
No, of course. Of course. So you're going down this path and you're like, okay, the engine's dead. Like there's nothing going on here. And did you feel like so? I mean, you had to kind of keep going with this, right? You had to because you met her family, and then finally there's the marriage.
Uh-huh.
And
all right. Well, I think enough time has passed now.
Yeah.
Where I can just kind of spill some beans that I haven't brought up on other podcasts. Like nobody cares about season 2 of Love Is Blind now.
Right.
No one's coming after me for
water under the bridge.
Yeah, exactly. So so Deepti and I told her like the first morning, I was like, hey, this is the situation. I'm sorry. I'm having a great time. I care about you.
So you guys were pretty openly communicating.
She was my best friend through that experience. She was. I mean,
she's a sweet girl. Yeah.
If you think about it, she's my fiance,
right?
And I wanted her to feel like it's not like in the back of my mind I'm like, ooh, I really want to date someone else. I wish I messed up. None of that. I didn't want anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we decided that we're just going to ride it out to the end as far as we can go because we both wanted Netflix to pay for a big party, and you know what I mean? Like that was our.
Hey, listen, I don't blame you.
I was like, I don't want it to be on reality TV. I'm like, this is fun. Like, this is great. Let's keep it rolling.
And listen, there's a lot of people out there who have leveraged their time on reality TV into businesses, etc.
Yeah, and it was just fun, man. I don't know what else. I don't know what else was gonna come of it, but it was fun. We were having fun.
Yeah, so you kind of made a deal with the devil, so to speak.
Yeah, so to speak. But what I had not considered, or maybe in the back of my mind it was lingering, but I didn't give it the consideration it deserved. She probably did want to go through with it and wanted to see if something would change.
Okay.
As things went on. And, I felt kind of dumb not thinking about that because one of the producers eventually just told me that. Yeah. They're like, hey, do you think this might be the case? And
so they're kind of messing with you a little still.
Oh, yeah. No.
All the time.
They're looking back, here's the other thing. So, I like to joke around. I'm joking around with the people on scene.
Dangerous thing to do on Netflix.
I'm joking around with, the lighting guy, the camera guy. Yeah. And, most of the time, I just have everybody howling. I'm just, unstoppable. I'm saying something, they're erupting over there. I'm like, this is the most fun I've ever had. These guys think I'm hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you're on vacation.
I'm like the star. Me and Deepti, I'm like the star. I felt so cool, so special.
Right.
But I didn't realize
they were gonna hammer you.
I was just giving them banger after banger after banger.
No, listen. If I'm a producer, I'm like, I love this guy.
Yeah, for all the wrong reasons. Yeah. I thought they were like, oh, they think I'm funny. They really like me.
Yeah. No. In their mind, they're like, we're gonna crush this dude.
But, yeah. I was giving them some material. Yeah, that's for sure.
So the wedding comes and she's like, I'm gonna make a decision for myself. And blah, blah, blah.
Let's rewind to just before the wedding.
Okay.
And again, this particular thing, I don't think I've ever admitted. Again, nobody cares now, right?
Right.
It was kind of even before, the wedding was a real thing. I had kind of told her, listen, it's probably gonna be, when we get up there, you already know I can't do it. You should be the one to say no to me. Yeah. It would be much easier. I can handle it.
Yeah.
I'm not ignorant to the situation I put you in.
Well, you would, if you were the one who told her, I don't want you, I mean, you would have taken your hatred and multiplied it by like 10.
Yeah. Yes. That is a factor that I certainly thought of. But the other thing is, listen, I don't want to crush a girl's confidence on TV.
Right.
And here's the other thing. There's moments where we probably could have had sex, but I didn't want to because I knew I couldn't take that next step with her to marry her.
Right.
And I didn't want that. Like, it's going to sound stupid.
So she was kind of on the fence about this with you. And if you had sex with her, it probably would have pushed her into really liking you.
No. She did. I mean, it's weird to talk about it, but she really did like me to the end.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm trying to get at here is she.
Well, that came across on camera for sure.
She was hoping for that, and you know what I mentioned about us agreeing for her to say no, whatever. People know that already. But the part that I haven't ever said before is she urged for us to just get married, and she's like, we can get divorced in like 3 months, 6 months, whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, just think about how much more famous we would be,
so
how much more they would love us. That to me, like I was all game for like riding this as long as we could, but that was like one big step. I'm like,
that's like a thing. That's the whole thing.
I'm like, dude, like I didn't say this. I don't know what I said exactly, but my thought is that's going way too fucking far. Like, I'm down to like have a great time. Like, let's see what Netflix will do for us.
Yeah.
But like, come on, like, first of all, I mean, people want fame, whatever, but what cost? What cost?
Right.
Like, that's an insane, like,
and it's
stretch.
The thing about fame, and I have just from my time in New York, I have a handful of famous friends. I mean, it comes and goes. You know, and even if you're like even if you're a famous actor, even stars struggle with this, where they're always trying to find that next project, and they're
stay relevant.
Yeah, I could list off 100 people out there who are household names, but you haven't seen them in a film in a while.
Yeah.
It's always fame is fleeting, always.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, long story short, she was ready to take it to the next level. We had already had the discussion before that to like have her be the one, and when that wedding came and it happened, I mean, you're not supposed to tell anybody what's going to happen. It's supposed to be a big surprise.
Right.
But obviously, I told some people, at the, my very, like,
She's
my
gonna
family,
break up with me. Yeah.
my family, like, very close friends,
So
things
you
like
had
that.
met both families.
Families, this is like, we lived together for a month, right, in Chicago.
Yeah.
This is like way at the end now. We're talking about the wedding.
You guys lived together for a month.
Yeah.
That's a bit of time.
Had a great time.
Yeah.
Had a fun-ass time.
Yeah, you guys are just like, hey, we're cool with each other.
Yeah.
Let's just party it up.
Let's party it up. I'm having a good time.
Hey, listen, man. I mean, I think that's the right attitude.
Like life is short, whatever.
Yeah.
But I do want to clear up one thing though, because I think hearing just what we talked about, first thing people are going to say is, oh, you went on it just for the fame and blah, 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 blah. Everybody who goes on a show has that in the back of their mind.
Right.
Okay. But I did give this a try.
Yeah.
I would have married somebody on this show.
Really
I would have.
Yeah,
I would have. And when we had our engagement or our reveal, I should say, that fireworks moment, right after that, you're separated again.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't get to see each other until you are then in Mexico, and you're
how much time in between?
It was like a few days, but still it's like at that moment you want nothing else but to like be with one another. It's a way to build the tension, travel separately, and then like
Yeah.
Anyway, I back in my hotel room, like I'm like pacing around. I write my whole wedding invitation list. I was like, it happened. It happened. I can't believe it. I'm one of those people. It worked for me.
Yeah.
Like that was my attitude. Once I figured out that wasn't gonna happen.
Well, I think it's very easy to have the mentality of, well, if they're gonna like milk me for this, then I'm gonna milk them.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the exact piece of advice another friend had given me. He was like, hey, they're going to be taking advantage of you, so make sure you get what you want out of it.
That makes sense.
And for me, what I really wanted for a long time, maybe I was deluding myself. Like looking back, it was so obvious. I thought that's what Deepti wanted too.
Yeah.
I really did. I never wanted to like string her along because in my eyes, I'm like, I put it out there. I already said my piece. So if this isn't cool, she would say, hey, that's not cool, right?
Yeah.
But girls don't always work that way. Right. That's, or just people don't work that way.
Yeah.
Men or women. Sometimes it's just, you hope. I think I've been that way. I hope I'm just not reading the signs in front of me.
Right.
And I'm hoping for a different outcome.
Right.
So I'm not going to be the one to rock that boat. In that.
I gotcha. So she says, I'm making a choice for myself. We're not getting married.
In real life, it was such a nice moment because
you both seemed relieved.
Yeah, we seemed relieved. We're like, this is over.
Yeah.
I gave like not a speech, but I addressed the crowd, and with Deep D by my side, basically saying, hey, I know we didn't get married today, but we came here to celebrate love today, and that's what we're doing. Yep. Like we shared an incredible experience together, wouldn't have traded it for anything or anybody.
Are your parents there?
Yeah, my parents are there. Her parents are there.
Where
friends.
Is this exactly? In LA?
This is at a golf course outside of Chicago.
Okay. So you'd hold up in Chicago for a while.
Well, we live in Chicago.
Okay.
We're from Chicago.
Okay, gotcha.
The whole season is based around Chicago. After LA, after Mexico, then it's Chicago for the rest.
Back home to where you live. Got it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So so it was a nice moment, honestly. It was like a really nice moment. And then I did give a different kind of I said some stuff during one of the times I was addressing the crowd that was a little different in nature.
What'd you say?
Like, let's get this fucking party started, or something
right.
like that. So they cut
again. Netflix is paying.
Exactly in my eyes, because they flew my friends from California and here and there. So I'm like, sick.
Yeah,
I'm like, thanks,
have a
Netflix.
party.
Yeah, and also in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm already 32. I think I was 32, 33, something like that. I'm not married yet.
Right.
I'm not, who knows when I'm going to be married at this point. I'm like,
I can understand that feeling.
This didn't work. I'm like, Love Is Blind was supposed to be my freaking happy ending. God damn it.
Right.
So this didn't work. I'm like, fuck it. We're having a wedding anyway, or like, this is my wedding. Like I tell my friends now, I'm like, bro, you're already there. Yeah. So that was basically.
So and then the fallout happens. The season comes out. And I'll tell you, as a viewer of this, the reunion is the craziest, most unhinged thing I have ever seen on reality TV with Nick and Vanessa Lachey.
Yeah.
That is the most unhinged thing I have ever seen in my entire life. So as a viewer, it was borderline cringe.
Yeah.
It was really uncomfortable to watch because, especially Vanessa, they were out for real, knives out on you.
Yeah.
And look, I've seen, Andy Cohen is a famous host on Bravo. Chris Harrison was on The Bachelor for many years. Now it's Jesse Palmer. They never attack anyone.
Yeah, it's supposed to be neutral.
They're neutral. They're always professional. And I'm watching this and I'm like, what in the hell is this?
Yeah.
And she just let her. I mean, look, even if I'm sure when we all work together with different people on a set, there's people you don't like, but I was shocked that they came at you the way they did. Now, that must have been wildly uncomfortable.
Well, let me give you some context on that.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about the wedding, right? We talked about what really happened. It was a nice moment. I mean, as nice as it could be. We had fun afterwards. Deep D, her bridesmaids, myself, my groomsmen went and partied on my friend's yacht till 5 a.m. just floating around on Lake Michigan.
You're just
big ass yacht, having a great time.
Yeah,
because we shared that together. That was how the wedding night ended.
Yeah.
Didn't end like a real wedding supposed to end, but guess what? We had a fantastic time, and that was like a great memory for my friends that were flown in. Some have flown in, some local, and then her friends, same thing. It was a cool moment. So now let's fast forward to when the show is about to come out. Okay, the episodes come out in batches. So the first few batches come out. I already am not looking like the best guy at this
you're
point.
watching, you're like, you're saying, can I carry you on my shoulders, right?
Yeah, I kind of see how they
things are landing.
They didn't cut me the way I wanted. Well, I'll say this. when watching with my friends, like we had a watch party and stuff like that.
Right.
Everybody was dying because they know me and they know my heart and they know my sense of humor.
Right.
And they know what they're getting.
Right.
You know what I mean? The rest of America,
definitely not.
Did not. But then the reunion is supposed to be filmed just before the final batch of episodes comes out, which includes the weddings.
Right.
I think it's basically the weddings, So the night before the reunion was filmed, they're like, hey, here's a copy of the weddings just so you know what's going to be on there. Now, we don't get to see anything, right? We don't until it comes out. There's not like we get to screen it privately and be like, oh, that's what I did. Like, we're finding out with the rest of the world, right?
Yeah, that makes the best TV.
Yeah. So the night before, I'm seeing this wedding, and because that to me was the worst of it all. Like, like a moment that was actually nice that we enjoyed ourselves in. They like made me look like such a freaking idiot. I was like, let's party, guys. And she's like, oh, she's crying with her mom and stuff like that. And
right.
and they they took these.
Meanwhile, DT comes out with you later. She's like, let's get crazy.
Exactly. Like smoking a joint and shit, like on this yacht. Like literally, that's the other thing. We're both like kind of potheads.
Yeah.
So that's another thing we bonded on right away.
Yeah.
We had a great freaking time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It impacted my mindset astronomically before filming the reunion. Like that was like. Calling it a cherry on top is not even fair. I'd say it's like the straw that broke the camel's back type mentality where like they made that part so bad. I felt so embarrassed. I don't want to say ashamed because I know the truth, but I also know nobody else will ever know the truth.
Yeah.
Nobody else will, because we've signed away our right to say things. That's why I'm like talking about it openly now, because I can. Who cares at this point?
Yeah.
But during that time,
is there like a statute of limitations on their NDA?
Yeah. I forget if it's like 3 years or 5 years.
So
or
you're outside.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, I stopped caring a while ago, but now it's
it's kind of interesting to revisit the topic.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going in there and I have fire in my eyes because the way they made her seem like I chose myself, which alone is fine. It's cool message for the girls, but it was almost like it was at my expense.
Of course,
right? Of course. Not almost. It was at my expense.
Yeah, you definitely were. That birthed the villain.
I was clowned.
Yeah.
Okay. Via editing and just they would take snippets from our like private interviews, like like we'd be talking just like this,
right.
And then at the wedding they'd show the back of my head and like I'm talking to somebody and their face goes and they'd use a clip from a different conversation. So I could be
I'm like you, as someone who deals with editors like hourly, these guys are geniuses.
But I wasn't ready for that because like it was like the crescendo of the whole thing. Like it all leads up to this, and they're like,
no, they're all.
Screw you, Shake.
I can see this in the film bay where they're just like all sitting there. They've got all the coverage.
Yeah,
they're like watching all this, and they're like, put that here, put this here.
Yeah, it's like Minority Report over there. Way they're
that's how they go. They're very good at this too.
But anyway, all this to say, that is why at the reunion, I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm already the villain. There's no saving me. You know what I mean? So you know what? If you guys are gonna like hyper fixate on everything I did wrong, I'm gonna bring up some of the other mistakes that people made.
So you just were like, I'm going nuclear.
Something like that. Yeah, basically.
I mean, I could tell you were aggravated on that episode for sure. I think probably any guy would be, because
I felt like
you probably thought you were like, hey, I got along with everyone on the show, like
exactly,
crap,
and they all flipped on me because they saw the public perception,
right?
And these are people like, okay, a month before the reunion, we were at Danielle's lake house together,
right?
If that's how you felt about me during filming. Or like, if that's how I was during filming, why would we be spending time together now?
Right, and the bros came at you too.
It was a bunch of
the bros definitely betrayed, like
the white knighting, like you said earlier.
Yeah, there was major betrayal of bro code on that.
Betrayal of bro code, absolutely.
Big time.
They're like, what can I do to make myself look like Prince Charming?
Yeah,
they're like, huh.
Yeah. So you felt like once the cameras were on, it was all every man for himself. Like it was just like, I'm going to do what I need to do to get famous, to get whatever I need to.
Well, I thought after that, I can't go down, without swinging. You know what I mean? Like that was my mentality. I'm like,
right, which inflamed all millennial women across America.
It
even
did,
more.
it did. But the thing is, and you know what's really funny? This is years ago, but like a reel just was posted this past week about the reunion. And it like I was just going through there and like it was active with the comments. I'm like, this is a while ago. People are still talking about it. So I got in there a little bit. I started,
shake here.
I got in there.
I remember this very well.
So no. What I commented was, looking back, I would have changed my delivery, but I stand by the message. That was my comment.
So would you say your message was, I remember you said on that reunion, love isn't blind.
I said love is blurry is what I did say.
Blurry,
that
right.
Yeah. But no, that's basically it. That I don't want to be made to feel like I'm crazy for stating something that is a simple truth, that people are attracted based on different things. It's to some degree it's like it's not easy to quantify, you know what I mean?
Right.
And categorically, it's not blind.
Right.
It's not.
Of course. I think everyone cares about what their significant other looks like.
Absolutely.
I mean, well, that's what was kind of interesting to me. I was like, this isn't really a controversial point, and yet I'm watching a fight on TV about it.
Yeah.
Which was fascinating to me. No, to this day, what I just couldn't believe the way Vanessa Lachey and Nick Lachey handled that, just as hosts. I've never seen that in reality TV because, like you said, typically hosts are neutral. They're like the referee. Like if you want to duke it out with other people on the cast, great, go for it. But I've never seen a host act like that.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I could draw that out of them,
you really got under their skin.
made me feel that I touched on some very important points that Yeah,
what do you think? What kind of ideas do you think you kind of hit on that really set them off?
The fact that the show is called Love Is Blind, not Love Is Getting
Blurry.
Married, Blind, whatever.
Right.
Like,
So maybe you like shook the foundations of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I
premise,
felt that getting married at the end is just kind of like a crazy thing. Like, love is not blind. Let us fall in love then. Why do we have to end that with a marriage?
Yeah.
The fact that love itself is not blind, I think that was like the main one. At least it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And I had to phrase it that way because everybody around me, they drank so much of the Love Is Blind Kool-Aid.
Right.
Also, now that they, for the first time in their lives, are getting press opportunities that they don't want to risk.
They don't want to screw it up, right?
They don't. Yeah, this is their. For a lot of, I felt, and I don't want to make it seem like it's attacking anybody, but I just felt like a lot of people saw this as their ticket to
stardom,
something.
Yeah.
And frankly, they had such little going on in their lives that this was going to make or break their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
what's interesting because when I think of someone who has leveraged reality fame into a brand, I think of like Craig Conover from Southern Charm.
Okay.
He started at, I don't know if you've seen that show, but he started at like nothing. When he was on that show, he was like 23 years old, was like studying for law school, his bar, had nothing going on. Now he's got the pillows, the Sewing Down South brand. This is mega sewing company and pillow fabrics company. So like that, definitely. And you have someone from Summer House, like Paige DeSorbo, who's launched this into a massive comedy career. So it's definitely the upside when you're on reality TV is phenomenal. But you also have to be smart and talented and actually have something going on.
Yeah. Well, it was a stark difference. So
yeah.
I'm not sure if you are aware of the second show I went on.
You went on a second show.
Yeah.
What came after that?
And this was a freaking awesome experience, by the way. So the show is called House of Villains.
Oh, okay. Yes. Perfect for you.
So it was, and I was on season 1. It was just a concept of a show.
So they basically took all the villains
From different shows. Johnny Bananas from The Challenge, and like Omarosa from the one
Jersey
with
Shore
Trump.
or something?
From all over, right? And that was insane because, first of all, I was like the tiny, tiny, tiny fish in that pond.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I bet there's some real assholes on that show.
More than assholes, they are professionals. They've been doing this for a while. Like they know I was in awe watching them. You know, I had a fantastic time on that show.
They're working the camera.
Man, they're working the camera nonstop in ways that I've never been so entertained for a month straight in my life.
Yeah. No, I mean,
but also
there's an art form to this for sure.
Equally anxious at the same time, because it is a type of show where it's like Big Brother, you eliminate each other, you know, that type of thing.
It's like a game show.
It's a game show, but we live together in a house, and one by one you're eliminated, and then
how long are you on in the cast together?
If you make it to the end of the month, which
so it's pretty quick.
No, doesn't feel quick, man.
Yeah, sure.
Doesn't feel quick.
Sure, it feels
because
you're constantly filmed.
It's like a month in this context is from the moment you open your eyes in the morning to the moment you shut your eyes at night. So it's like everything. Like I'd be brushing my teeth and there's like a 2-person camera crew watching me, and I feel like, am I supposed to like be doing something? Like, should I do something? Should I drop my
producers
toothbrush?
Like, do something interesting.
Like, you know what I mean?
I don't care what, just do something interesting.
No, they would. That's what you feel, whether they say it or not.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. But anyway, Tanisha and Anfisa from 90 Day Fiance, Corinne from The Bachelor, Bobby Lights.
I remember Corinne, yes.
Yeah, so anyway,
Corinne was fantastic TV. She was on Nick Viall's season.
Yep.
Also, they should have brought him on because he's a real asshole.
You know, the season they're filming this year, season 3, has like Tom Sandoval on it, and like the names are all different, but like I don't watch reality TV, but Nicole's like, dang, like they got some heavy hitters on here.
Yeah, no, Corinne definitely was a heavy hitter.
I feel honored that I got to be included with these legends. I'm like,
after that reunion, you were a legend.
You know, well, thank you. I'm like, hey,
I was like, this has solidified your villaindom in reality TV.
Man, I did not want to look weak. I did not want to be weak. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Like, you're gonna come at me, you're gonna do this to me. Like, what do you think's gonna happen, bro? I'm just gonna be chilling. Like, I'm gonna be like, thank you for the opportunity.
Well, if I'm the producer, I'm game theorying this out in my head. I'm like, if we come at him, he either bends the knee and we make him look like a pussy on TV. Yeah. That's great ratings.
Yeah.
Or he goes out fighting. Also great ratings. So it's a win-win.
It's a win-win for them.
It's a win-win for them.
Yeah.
So if I'm the producer, I'm telling Vanessa Lachey, let him have it.
Yeah. I don't think anybody was told anything. I think that happened organically.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. You never know.
But I mean, the host and the producers share a brain. So
at that point,
for sure,
probably
for sure.
For
sure. So it wouldn't surprise me if they came at you intentionally.
I like to think that I just hit the nail on the head so many times that I shattered their whole world, and they just had to try and clap
it's
back.
A rough business, reality. I mean, it's a very Machiavellian business. You know? So okay, so you did have some villains. That's interesting. Now I know there was a bit of a fallout after all this, right? Oh, just in your own career.
Oh yeah, well After Love Is Blind.
Yeah. So you go back to, taking care of animals.
Being a vet. Right. Yeah. And this is something I spoke about on another podcast is I actually got let go from my job because a bunch of strangers on the internet, trolls, review bombed the clinic I was working at.
That you're working at, right.
Yeah.
So they're 1 stars on Google Maps.
1 star, dropping my name, making shit up.
Shakes a monster.
Yeah. Like, I don't know who would bring.
Your cat.
I don't know who would bring, whatever, Anyway, I won't lie, that was a scary moment.
Yeah, I'm sure that's really, because, like this is your real life now.
Yeah, so I can actually remember it really well. Ties into where we are right now, actually. So I used to DJ here and there, not so much anymore.
Oh.
But I was.
It's like everyone in Miami has to try that.
This was before Miami. This is before. I've been, it's been like 6-7 years for me. But anyway, I was DJing Music Week. So Love Is Blind had just come out. A DJ here It's like, hey, you DJ, come like play this rooftop party. I'm like, sick. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Of course. You know what I mean? So I'm pre-gaming at a friend's pool when I get the call from my job to say that, we're doing an involuntary separation.
Okay.
So I'm like about to DJ in like a couple hours. I'm like, okay, I'm just not even going to think about this right now.
Right, right.
End up having like the best weekend of my life, like a kick-ass weekend here. And I'm like, all right, I'm moving here. I'm like, all right, I don't have a job there. Do I? No.
Miami is very charming. It
sucked me right in.
And I think it's in a phase right now. I was in New York in the 2010s. And I think that New York had its glory years around then.
Yep.
It's definitely not there now. It went south after COVID. But, I mean, 2013, 14, 15, 16 in New York City, unbelievable. Great time.
I hear.
Amazing time to be in New York. And I feel like we're kind of in a little bit of a renaissance now for Miami. There's a lot of people coming here. There's a lot of interest in Miami these days.
I mean, I just fell in love in like
So how long have you been here now?
So that's been 3 years.
3 years. Okay, I've been here too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all a blessing, man. Looking back, because with this job, they'd given me this bonus for starting, and
your old vet job.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
they were take it back after you got tossed?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not giving this back.
I'm not giving this back.
I'm not giving this back. What are you gonna do? I'm already a villain, bro. Like, what do you think I'm gonna do next? I'm unpredictable. Just kidding. I wasn't like that at all. Can you imagine?
So the vet clinic is like, you gotta go, bro.
Yeah. Well, long story short, my lawyer advised me that I shouldn't give that money back, and if they want to do something about it,
there's not much they can do legally.
No, especially consider. So anyway, it was quite a lump of cash. It was like half a year's salary actually, which is pretty freaking great. To then come to Miami, and I took my time. I tried some other stuff. Like for a while, I was like doing like crypto events and stuff like that. Like
very on brand for Miami,
bro. People paid me just to come and like hang out there and like
Yeah, so you probably had for a year or two after all that just a bit of
that hype.
There's a bit of a hype. Yeah,
and it was a really good time to move to a new city because everyone wanted to be my friend then. You know what I mean?
Were you kind of scapegoated in Chicago a little? I
was canceled, man.
Yeah.
Like my job, everybody like switched up.
Yeah.
Like almost everybody switched up on me,
I get it, but I wish people wouldn't take reality TV so seriously.
and it's not everybody. I have my, ride or dies, and if, they're watching, I love you guys.
I will say you probably found out who your real friends were.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It was so much. Yeah. So, going back to Chicago, I know that I have my people, and like I know who those people are.
So you had to leave. Got canceled.
But it was equal parts Chicago pushing and equal parts Miami pulling. Yeah, I would say.
Well, Miami has a history of taking in outcasts.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
We've had a few of them on this show.
Honored to be one of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, I took some time doing this and that, having fun, and I spent a lot of years becoming a veterinarian, learning, and
so you had. How deep were you into your career before Love Is Blind as a vet?
I was deep in the sense I'd been practicing for like 6+ years.
Okay, so like most of your 20s. Like, yeah. So this was like you're established for you.
Established, exactly.
Yeah.
And in a way, it actually gave me a lot of confidence to, have that part of me, which, like, say what you will about how I come across on, whether it's reality TV or social media or probably this podcast. One thing that I think would be very hard to take from me is my career, my skill and my passion for my career. You know what I mean? That to me is one of those things that is just kind of impenetrable,
Well, and I think from what I can observe, you're a guy that has a strong possession of himself, which is not very popular nowadays. That, especially on a show like Love Is Blind, where they've got all these guys bending the knees to the women, and you're like the one dude that's not, right? And so that makes you an obvious target.
fair.
But I do think we live in a time where, as a guy, it's not exactly popular to kind of hold a firm stance in your presence, which I think you do.
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
That's just my observation. And listen, as someone who has the same problem, I recognize it in somebody else.
Okay, fair.
Because I went through this in theater in New York.
Okay.
You know, like I worked with very similar theater companies as the, you know, and when you present that energy as a guy, it's not always appreciated. And sometimes people love it. It's kind of, it strikes people in a very kind of strong way. People either love it or hate it. There's like, you strike me as a guy that people either love or hate.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I've never felt more loved than I do now here in Miami.
Yeah, great city.
You
People
know,
are super sweet.
I mean, whether personally with my girlfriend Nicole, who you've met, at my job, I work at a wonderful clinic, actually 2 clinics in Pinecrest.
Yeah, and that's what's just funny to me is that like people know you as this like celebrity villain or reality villain, but like you have a real passion for animals.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a passion for animals. It's something that, you know, I'm just good at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I grew up with dogs.
Right.
Didn't have any siblings, but I had dogs.
Yeah,
and those
I understand.
The dogs became the dogs became family.
Yeah,
they're like my
they're like it's your brother. You know?
I doted on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like I understand them, and I feel like you know, I think it was
in many
just
ways animals are much simpler than humans.
Yeah, they're simpler. Yeah, people suck. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Well, you know, a little more challenging to deal with humans.
Yeah.
So okay, so you relocate to Miami, and I know you mentioned that you've been dating someone now for quite a while, Nicole, and so you've you're kind of in a long-term stable relationship now.
Yeah.
So obviously people are interested to hear what's going on that front since you came from a dating show. And I've met Nicole a couple of times, very lovely girl. So like what's going on now? Like what I know you've got a handful of projects. I see your Petster shirt. This is your big project you're launching. So
it's my baby.
Yeah, tell me like what you're up to now. And like you have like some restaurants, right? Or food stuff?
Yeah, so I mean I
like see some of this stuff online. I'm like, where these guys' hands and everything.
It's a wide basket of investments type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So no, a good buddy of mine, Ryan McCown, he was on Below Deck.
Okay.
And
I have a buddy that's a producer on that show.
They're all around here, man. All the Below Deck people, because they're yacht, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Anyway, he's a chef, best chef I know.
Yeah.
Hands down. And his family used to own a pizzeria in Philadelphia. So he's just kind of got this, in his blood. And when he tells me that he's going to open a pizza spot in Design District,
you're like, this is going to be good.
He had, 100% of my support. I wanted to be involved in any way I could. Number one, to support him. And number two, just because, I just know that it's going to do well. And Pepe's has blown us all away, I think.
Yeah.
Pepe's in Midtown.
As Dave Portnoy reviewed it.
Yes. He gave it an 8.6.
8.6?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, that's legit.
I know.
I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah.
That's like one of the highest scores I've ever heard of him giving.
I'll have to send you the video.
I got to go.
Yeah.
Because as someone who lived in New York for many years, like every Saturday was my cheat day, and I went straight to the pizza shop.
Okay. Well, if you go straight to this pizza shop, get the pizza, but also get a Philly cheesesteak. Yeah. Because it is the only real Philly cheesesteak in Miami.
Well,
and
we don't have. I'm surprised we have any Philly cheesesteaks in Miami.
They're here and there, but it's fantastic. I love their pizza, but I crave the Philly cheesesteak.
Okay. Yeah.
And it used to be where Old Greg's was.
Okay.
And so great location.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that's cool. And then you have Shake's Seafood.
Yes, Shake's Seafood Shack. The ego boosting restaurant. Okay. So Ryan, who owner of Pepe's, so turned it into a food group thing because now we got a second location of Pepe's, and he randomly basically surprised me with Shake Seafood Shack. Like
He surprised you with it.
more or less. Like
He said, "Hey, I got a present for you."
Yeah, something like that. He's like, "Hey, just so you know, Shake Seafood Shack is going in also in the Design District, like in that food hall.
Okay.
I think it's MIA Market.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, that's nice.
So, so basically, he's like, it's gonna be called this. This is the menu.
That big bubble thing?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So, I mean, food's great. Food fantastic. It's more of like a pop-up kind of vibe.
So are you like a kind of silent partner investor with this whole thing?
I was advised I can't say anything about that. I'm supposed to say I'm involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm very good at sucking information out of people.
No, all good.
And then tell me about Petster. I know that's like the big launch.
Exactly. Yeah, Pepe's for sure. But Petster's the other big.
This is
one.
like your big project.
Yeah. So okay.
So how did this start?
Let's go to the very beginning. So I get messages all the time from people, from followers, from people I know, people I don't know.
Hate mail.
Mostly, I'm talking about vet questions.
Okay.
Like random people, they just feel like they can ask me something going on with their dog.
Right.
And the thing is, I 99% of the time don't have the heart to not say anything. I will say something to them, like even if it's just go to the vet, I'm not getting involved in this, but like I will respond to them. I wouldn't want to leave anybody hanging. You know what I'm saying?
With their animal.
With their animal.
Right.
And with the advances in AI, I kind of started to get the feeling I could train an AI to do something along those lines, like maybe not with the level of accuracy.
Well, now you can develop an AI basically with your brain, with all your, I had a previous guest on here, Vanessa, whom you know.
Yeah, right.
And she built an AI on sex therapy with all of her graduate work dissertations. And she just uploaded all of that. She told me not to use the app while having sex, obviously.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, like anything you've written, anything you can take a YouTube channel, all the transcripts from that, dump it into the AI, and it responds just like you.
That's in part what we're doing. We're taking a multi-LLM approach. So yeah, you have my knowledge, but I want to make sure that the information we get is like widely known and accepted.
Yeah.
For example, if you were to go on ChatGPT, that's one LLM. You're going to get a subset of information that's kind of been through their system.
Right.
But we're actually taking a multi-LLM approach to make sure you always get the most accurate and informative
So it's
responses.
dynamic and constantly updating.
It is.
All related to animals and pets.
So it's similar to the sex app, actually, in the sense that
I'm going to have all these fun apps to play with from my neighbors here.
So you upload your pet's medical records into the app.
Okay.
And then our AI analyzes all of them, and when you ask it questions, it gives you responses very tailored to your specific pet. Because you have a Schnauzer poodle,
right?
Which Schnauzer poo, what do you call
Schnoodle.
it? Schnoodle. That's right. Schnoodle. A Schnoodle's gonna have different issues than say a Rottweiler. You know what I mean?
Right.
Plus, the Schnoodle, has he been on any medications? Has he had blood work done? Has he had? Has he broken a leg? Has he had dental disease, pancreatitis? What is his unique history, right?
Yeah.
So when you're getting these responses, they're very, very specific, and they're far more helpful than any other available resource.
Yeah, interesting. Do you see this as like replacing vets, or is it just more designed for people who just need questions answered about their animal?
Replacing vets. Oh man, I hope not. that would be
a bummer.
That'd be pretty bad.
Back to reality TV.
Yeah, exactly. Good thing I have being a villain to fall back on, right?
Either that or DJing.
Yeah, exactly. No. So quite the contrary. I think it's going to help vets become more efficient.
Okay.
And really, I feel that a well-educated client, a well-educated pet owner, a informed pet owner is going to make much better decisions about their pet's care.
Yep.
Right? I think that is one of the biggest gaps in care, is because people don't often know what their pet needs, or sometimes they feel, people feel like the vet, they're trying to add on some tests here and there. Oh, we're adding on a heartworm test. We're doing a fecal test. Like, why do we need all of that?
Yeah.
But the truth is, there are reasons for that. We want the best for your pet. And I think simply understanding what's necessary for your pet makes you a better pet owner.
Yeah.
So I feel just as much as we're going to help pet parents with answering their questions, and keep in mind, this app is available 24/7, 3 a.m., your dog's puking.
Yeah, you can't. You're not doing house calls at 1 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. and the truth is, and some vets watching this may come at me for this, but, not everything requires a visit to the emergency. To some degree,
yes, of course,
to some degree, the app is going to help you decide
or mitigate smaller stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need, is this an emergency? Can this wait? And, it's a very conversational app. Like, you can just start talking to it. There's a voice mode.
Yeah.
You can just start talking to it. It'll walk you through it. It'll hold your hand through it.
Yeah.
Because when your dog is sick, it's a scary thing.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like,
especially,
it's nerve-wracking.
We lost a dog like 2 years ago, and I mean, dude, like, and like, I live in a family where if a dog dies, like, my mom is a wreck for a month.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like losing a kid,
Yeah.
So,
gosh, yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's the kind of thing where it is really scary.
Yeah. And really, I want to give people easy access to something that I'm confident is going to either, help them medically, help them financially, or just help educate them.
Yeah.
I really, really feel like there's a gap there. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, this app is completely free.
Yeah. Cool.
So there's really no good reason not to download it and play with it, because I know, if a pet owner might be thinking, hey, my dog's healthy, why do I need this?
Right.
Well, it's when, they get older, something happens.
Yeah.
You want to have that support, and AI has come so far, and we've worked so hard on optimizing this for this specific use case that I feel that every pet parent should be a Petster parent.
No, interesting. Very cool. Well, we'll include all the links and all that information, put the App Store link down in the description of this video so people can check it out and play around with it. Mm-hmm. Shake, great conversation today.
Absolutely, man.
A man on a hero's journey, for sure.
I like that you call it a hero's journey and not a villain's journey.
Not a villain's journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a little bit of a villain's journey, but the hero's journey always has enemies.
Yeah, that's true.
Great to have you here. And like I said, we'll drop all your info in the description below. And good luck to you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.